The time for yourselves. I hope you are trying to live in the moment and stay present and centered. I hope you will use the energies of the universe, the energies that are around us currently, to help improve your life and really find yourself. We were talking previously about being a human being and not a human doing. It's okay to be doing things to be productive and accomplishing your goals, but balance is important and you need to balance everything in your life. So make sure that you're always taking the time away from work or from whatever it is that are your responsibilities and just take time to just be and exist and enjoy the moment. Start small, and as you get more comfortable and it becomes more natural, then you can start extending your time. But every little win, no matter how small it is a great thing, and we should always take the time to celebrate our wins. So make sure we keep that in mind. Now we're going to really talk about how we can cultivate our mind's garden. So concerning yourself and focusing all of your attention on things that are completely out of your control sets you up really for mental turmoil. We must treat our mind as a beautiful garden. By doing so, we can find inner peace, we can find joy, and we can have protection from the inevitable troubles of the world. We don't need to be worrying about what others say or think about us. We don't need to know every aspect about the pandemic. We don't need to be consumed with all political matters. We don't need to be worrying about these things at all times. What we need to do is tend to the beautiful haven that is inside of us. We have to tend to the beautiful garden that we can build up and, grow to be beautiful and thriving, the garden of our minds. What you can control is not what other people think, what they do, or what they say, or how the world reacts to a current global issue. All you can control is you. And, once we decide that and once we realize that, it really starts to flourish in our minds. And you need to nourish your mind. You want to enrich your mind and refine your mind. And how we really cultivate our mind's garden is we can relate it to cultivating a real garden. And whenever we're starting a garden, the first thing that we must do is make sure that we have healthy, fertile soil. So the more fertile that our soil is, the better our plants will grow and thrive. And how we relate this back to our mind is we want to make sure that we're getting enough quality sleep, that we're exercising regularly, whether it's that you're going to the gym a couple times a week or you're taking advantage of certain aspects of your day and trying to be more active on your feet, walking around. Just stay active and well rested. Make sure you're challenging yourself daily to do things that are uncomfortable, because it's in the uncomfortable that we really, really learn and grow. Make sure you have a balanced diet. You're feeding your body the correct nutrients and vitamins that it needs to be healthy and completely work for you. This is how we keep the soil of our mind's garden healthy. So just like we're going to make sure that the soil for our plants are healthy and have the correct nutrients inside and are getting watered regularly, we want to do the same for our mind's garden. The next thing that we do when we're starting a garden is choosing the right seeds to sow in the soil. So we can think of seeds of our mind's garden as the thoughts we consume ourselves with. So all the thoughts and all the emotions are the seeds that we're going to plant in our garden. And we are what we think about because we live in a world of thought. It's the quality of our thoughts that create the quality of our life. So it's what's inside of your mind that dictates what is your life, what it is that you're experiencing. And we can relate negative thoughts to rotten seeds that spread and ruin our garden. And we can relate positive, empowering, optimistic thoughts as good seeds that will help our garden and our mind's garden thrive and blossom. We want to be planting seeds of self-love, confidence, gratitude, kindness, compassion, love, positivity, and also abundance. And these things will allow your garden, your mind's garden, to grow beautifully into big trees and beautiful flowers and lovely greenery that makes you feel whole and makes you feel calm and peace. So after we have chosen the seeds that we would like to plant in our garden, hopefully you have chosen seeds that are positive and uplifting and empowering. You don't just walk away and never tend to your seeds again or your a garden again. You water and you care for your seedlings. Their growth is a direct result of your efforts. So if you are taking the time each day and you're caring about your plants and you're showing them love and you're doing everything you need to, then your garden and your mind's garden is going to reward you with beautiful, positive moments and beautiful, positive beauty. You always want to be making sure that you're taking care of your garden, of your mind's garden. To have a beautiful outside garden means you have nurtured, cared, and maintained it. To have a beautiful garden inside your mind means that you have done the same thing. You have nourished, you have cared, you've maintained the good seeds you planted. Your newly planted seedlings of your mind, they need to be watered daily, and with that, you must always make sure your seedlings are getting all of the right things in order to thrive. So you want to make sure they're getting sunlight, you want to make sure that you're watering them, you want to make sure that you're plucking out the weeds, you want to make sure that everything is right around your garden and everything is in place for them to grow properly. And it's the same for your mind. You want to make sure that you're constantly paying attention to the thoughts that arise in your mind, and know that everything in the world, everything that happens in the world, everything that exists in the world is competing for your attention. Whether it's news, it's movies, it's books, it's people, conversations, apps on your phone, influencers, celebrities, newsletters, whatever it is, all of these are like seeds that are intruding on your garden. And they can either grow into beautiful plants or they can grow into pesky weeds. And it's really up to us to decide which seeds are, going to be detrimental to our garden and which ones are going to be fruitful and which ones are going to be giving great things to our garden. You want to ask yourself, does this contribute to my personal growth? Does this help my personal growth? Does this align with my values? Weeds are always going to grow in our garden, and it's inevitable that they will grow, but it's how we learn to reduce them, how we learn to reduce the weeds of our mind's garden. And what we must do is learn to observe what's happening in our minds. We need to identify bad seeds from the good seeds and stop sabotaging behavioral and thought patterns. Stop them. No more bad thought patterns, no more bad behavioral patterns. You want to stay positive. You want to make sure you're choosing the seeds, you're choosing the thoughts that are positive, and you're not getting caught up in the negative feelings. Something I've learned to do lately is meditate. And I always thought it was silly meditation, but as I've been going through this spiritual journey and really doing a lot of research and learning about the process and what the things you do to help yourself remain centered, I've realized that meditation is probably the core principle of all of that. And I've been trying to practice it more daily, and I don't really set aside a special time of the day that I do it. I kind of approach it a little differently. If I have the time and I want to, I will set aside the time, but my life is really busy, and I know that's an excuse and I shouldn't use it as an excuse, but I take little moments throughout the day that I find myself getting caught up in a negative thought pattern, or I find myself reacting from something that has happened that I really don't need to be reacting, from. And I have this exercise I do, and I just stop and I take a few deep breaths and I close my eyes and I just kind of bring myself back to the now and focus on what I'm doing. I try to not get consumed by my thoughts, and it's really worked for me. And I'm learning every day as I go on how I can improve on it, and that's what it takes. Practice makes perfect. So the things we can do and the types of seeds we can plant are self-love mantras or confidence mantras, and practicing daily gratitude, being grateful for everything that you currently have, being optimistic for the future, having mantras that deal with optimism, even just exercising and living in the moment are ways that we can, use these positive seeds, these empowering seeds to help us on our journey. So those are some steps on how to cultivate our mind's garden, just like how we treat our regular garden, and we make sure that the soil is healthy, and we make sure the seeds that we're planting are healthy and positive. We want to make sure the seeds we plant in our mind are the same. We want to make sure that we're tending to our garden daily and that we're putting in the time and the dedication to ensure that our garden is always thriving and blossoming beautifully. You really want to try to always be aware of these thoughts that you're having that are negative, and just let them go. Let them go through you just as much as they came into you. Don't hold on to them, because when you hold on to them is how you close your heart off. And you want to live with an open heart so that you're able to really fully experience everything life has to offer for us. So just make sure you're doing that, and just like everything, it takes time, and you won't see results today or tomorrow, but weeks and months will go by that you continue to practice these things we talk about, and you'll start to see that you're changing, your mind is changing, your thoughts are changing, and you're starting to feel more confident, you're starting to feel more empowered, you are brave, you want to, take chances and explore the world outside of your comfort zone. And as you watch me take the journey out of my comfort zone, I hope it inspires you to do the same, and I hope it inspires you to find what it is that you can bring to the world and how you can help impact the world. Because that's really why we're here, to change and impact the world, whether it's the whole world or just a little part of it. We got to do what we got to do. So, we're going to get back into the music and enjoy our time. We have about an hour and 15 minutes left, and we're going to enjoy the music. We're going to come back after the ads, play some more music. I don't really have any more topics to talk about today. I kind of wanted to just take it easy and really let the topics of today sit in your mind, and really think about it, and think about why it is that we're here on this earth, and how the things we do daily and the things we think about daily impact our lives. We really only have control over ourselves. We don't have control over anything else. And once we really, really start to understand that, and not just say it at times and then go on with your life, but say it and really contemplate it and really, really put the effort in to practice it. And that's what I'm doing. So the next song is Taurus Riley's Superman. So that's it for now. We're going to play music and just, vibe as always.